Hi everyone, my name is Carolyn Tracy, and for this project I analyzed magazine advertisements and how they represent gender. I created two physical poster collages, one focused on men's ads and one on women's ads. Behind me are my posters. That is the men's poster, and this is the women's poster, and this is the data I collected. I had posters at home. They aren't big enough for one big poster, so I made a collage on three mini posters. So I hope that works. I did not want to go out and buy materials if I had them at home, so yeah. I'm going to start by talking about the men's poster, then move into the women's poster, and finally I'll connect with both of those to the data I collected and some of the sociological concepts from class. So, starting off with the men's poster, one of the biggest patterns I noticed right away is that men are almost always shown as physically strong, attractive, and dominant. A lot of the ads show muscular bodies, intense workouts, sports, or action poses. Even when the product isn't directly about fitness, like food or shoes, the men are still shown as powerful or athletic. And then another thing I noticed is that men are usually shown as independent and confident. They're often alone or leading something, like lifting weights, competing, or pushing their limits. There's a big focus on performance, improvement, and success. The products themselves are usually things like protein powders, athletic gear, shoes, and other like energy related products. The message feels very much like be stronger, be better, push harder, and overall, this poster really reflects traditional ideas of masculinity: strength, control, discipline, and physical dominance, which are also tied to toxic masculinity. So now I'm going to bring up the men's poster so you can fully see it. This is the men's poster. So you see, very athletic. There we have a doctor here in the corner. We have competitions. You have a little boy's Lunchable, but it's still relating him to building and improving and leading, and so yes. And then this is an ad for Skechers, but he's holding a football. A lot of protein powders, and then we have a Sleep Number mattress ad. So yeah, this is the men's poster. Okay, now moving on to the women's poster. Oops. Well, I can still see it. Okay, so now moving on to the women's poster. The tone here is very different. Women are shown way more in terms of appearance, like beauty and self-care. There are a lot of ads focusing on makeup, skincare, cleaning products, food, and household items. And women are also shown smiling a lot, looking calm and pretty and nurturing. Even when the ads talk about health or wellness, it's usually framed around being attractive or taking care of others rather than, I guess, themselves and strength or power. Another big pattern that women are often shown in domestic or caregiving roles. There's an emphasis on being a good mom, maintaining a clean home, or managing emotions, compared to the men's ads. Women are less active and less physically aggressive. Overall, the women's poster reinforces more traditional feminine roles, like being caring, attractive, responsible, and I guess emotionally supportive. So that also is like, dare I say, like toxic masculinity or femininity. Definitely at its finest. But we also see a lot of like biracial, we see a lot more color in the women's ads versus the men's ads. We see surprisingly a lot of white men versus the women's ads. We see a lot of women of color. So that kind of tells me that maybe women values wise more are aligned with that. So let me now get the women's ads for you to show you. Here's the women's ads. This one is an old Tide one, and she is white. One of the only white women on the poster. Actually, most are women of color, women of minority. This is an older ad too. The only other like white woman. Yes. And then also I noticed with a lot of there's a few pet ads on there here, if you can see, and they're all on the women's ads, none on the men's ads. So yeah. Where is it? I love that vintage Tide one though. That's probably one of my favorites. And the Target one. Her holding the Target symbol with her shoes. I love shoes. So that is the women's ads. And then like I said, there's my data. So when I look at my data collection, these visual patterns kind of match what I recorded statistically. Most of the men in the ads are shown athletic or muscular, usually in their 20s or 30s. And almost always active. The products marketed to them focus on strength, performance, and control. For women, the data showed higher focus on slim or average body types, beauty standards, and consumer products related to home, appearance, and caregiving. And they were more likely to be shown in indoor or passive roles. And this connects to concepts we talked about in class, like gender socialization, where media teaches us what is considered normal or ideal for men and women. These ads reinforce the idea that men should be strong and dominant, while women should be attractive and nurturing. It also relates to gender stereotypes, because these representations are very repetitive and leave kind of little room for diversity in how women and men are portrayed, especially, like I said, in the men's ad. Overall, this project helped me see how powerful advertising is in shaping our ideas about gender. Even through these ads seem normal at first when you put them all together like this, and the patterns become really obvious. Men are marketed strength and success, while women are marketed beauty and care. These messages, personally, I think to me, affect how people see themselves and what they feel, and kind of why they feel pressured, what they feel pressure to live up to. That's pretty much what I found. So thank you for watching, and real quick, I will show you my data. Sorry, it's kind of little writing. Hope you can see that okay. Thank you so much for watching.